Thomas Hardy described Portland as the Gibraltar of Wessex, and he wrote, "It stretches out like the claw of a bird into the English Channel. The towering rock, the houses above houses, one man's doorstep rising behind his neighbour's chimney, gardens hung up by one edge to the sky, the vegetables growing on apparently vertical plains, the unity of the whole island as a solid and single block of limestone 4 miles long." In spring, it's the arrival point in England for many migrating birds, tired after the long sea crossing. And although the island is virtually bare of trees, it still has an abundance of plants and flowers and butterflies. Fishing has always been one of Portland's main industries. The waters are deep and dangerous, but the catches can be good. There are fewer lobsters than of old because of overfishing, but there's still an abundance of crabs for skilled men like Derek Galpin.
Born in Portland, I've lived here all my life. I just don't want to shift now.
Good fishing?
Well, it used to be good, but it's deteriorating every year.
And how about the crabs, eh?
Well, they're getting less, yeah, just getting overfished.
Who's taking them then?
Well, you've got so many people all around the coast here due to the unemployment. You've got the Jersey boats, French boats catching them outside, further out before they can get in, so therefore it takes a long time for a lobster to grow, 10 years before it's big enough to catch, about 6 years crab. It gets to about £8 or £9 and then you don't get any bigger, but most of the big ones are caught now.
So as a living, it's getting poorer?
Poorer and poorer, yeah. Plus the price doesn't go up. It's near enough the same price it was 10 years ago, so the cost of everything goes up. There was a nice life, you know, your own boss, and right, you just take the weather as it comes. If it's bad weather, you've got to stay ashore and repair your pots. It's fine like it is. Go every day. Well, yeah, you get more crabs when the water's thick because whatever they feed on is moving about in the bottom, I suppose. They start moving then. But June is the worst month because the crabs go out in deep water, get soft, which we call shy, change their shell and come back again.
And so that's
their size bigger, yeah. 5.5 inches they're going to be. Through the years, it's always been renowned as Portland crabs are the best. Against this rocky bottom, I think, with all these big ledges you see here. I mean, they've got to be good condition crabs to live in this when you go to southwesterly gale. They go to London, the crabs. They do sell some local, yeah.
Morning, Stephen. How's crabs?
Good morning. Yes, it's been cooked. How many was?
Four.
Four.
Before the ferry bridge opened, Portlanders rarely married outsiders. There were just a few local names, and most people were given nicknames in order to distinguish them.
All right. 8.2 pound, that's 5.50, sir.
Today is the first Saturday in June, and the wedding day of two loyal islanders, Julie Sellen and Stephen Brown, who works as a fishmonger. This is a strange old island, Stephen. Very few families on it that are genuinely Portlanders, is that right?
There's not many left now, no. Only 2 or 3 original Portland families, yeah.
What's it like from your point of view being married to a Portlander?
Well, I'm all right. We don't really worry about things like that much nowadays. It's only the older hands that rub it in a bit, that's all. But they don't really seem to worry nowadays.
I'm very excited, of course. A bit weepy. It's a very special occasion in my life. But everything's been great. Everything today, and it's one that I shall never forget, always remember.
Julie Elizabeth, wilt thou have this man to thy wedded husband, to live together?
Well, she's very quiet and very tiny. We met at the local carnival dance. She was the Carnival Queen's attendant, and I went up there and just got to know her, and a quick relationship, 2 or 3 years, and we're married. I didn't think it was going to come so quick.
As ye both shall live.
I will.
With this ring, I thee wed, with my body, I thee honour, and all my worldly goods, with thee I share, Those whom God hath joined together, let no man put asunder.
She doesn't like fish at all, but she doesn't mind the job. She comes with me on long journeys like up Paul, London, in the fish van. She doesn't mind that. She's always at home, gets the grub her own when I get home and that, and she's very good. She is, does the ironing without even me having to ask her. When we bought this house, I had to live there for 7 months on my own until we got married. She wouldn't move in, you know, she had her principles and that was that. But now, I'm glad she's there now because you go night time after our day. You got somebody to look after you, that's the main thing. It was a bit lonely. I was in a family of 9, and when you live on your own for 7 months, it drives you up the wall, I should think.
Veteran Portlander George Davey recalls some of the islanders' less conventional marriage customs.
Years ago, it was a fashion for a young man and a woman to get together, and if the man's seeds were fertile, well, then they would get married. But if his seeds fell on stony ground, well, then it was quite all right for him to leave the one that he was courting and go and cast his seeds elsewhere. And then, should that be fruitful, well, then they would get married.
The skills of today's quarrymen, like Ralph Stone, are no less than those of their predecessors, though modern machinery has speeded things up and has made it possible for outsiders to comprehend just how those massive blocks of stone can be handled.
This actual quarry here, well, it's been dug, I suppose, over a period of, I should imagine about 40 years.
And how about the history of the stone that's gone from there? We're used, I suppose, to Portland stone as being big buildings. Is that where it's
Well,
gone?
it's a luxury sort of building, yeah, it really is. I don't know if people could afford to have a building solid, you know, built solid Portland stone anymore.
Gold, I
I should imagine it would be, yeah. It's all full of joints, you know. It may look pretty solid to you. There's the rock there, like, but it's all in pieces. Some of them big, some of them small, you know what I mean? And you just sort of attack it as you see fit. Well, we're looking for 200 meters a month we got to produce. Well, we do anyway. We try to. We can earn a good wage on that. A metre of stone weighs about 2.5 tons. You know, we do quarry them sometimes special for customers, big ones. You know, about 6 meters, 7 meters. We've got them. There's special cranes and lift them and all sorts of stuff, like, you know. But this old crane here will only pick up about 24 ton, as it is now. Yeah. All the quarrying originally was done fall-offs, so rock around the cliffs. See what fall down years ago, quarrymen went along, picked it up. They wasn't sort of quarrying like we're doing now, just picking up all the bits and pieces that fell out over, shaping it up, and jacking it in the barrages and that in the water, see? Take it on up London right away. It's not really attacked by the weather that much. You can just cut it back a 1/8 of an inch and you got a brand new lump of stone again, you know what I mean? It's pretty impervious to weather and attacked by the atmosphere when they cut her. You know, reinforced concrete is, I think that's a bit of a disaster, wasn't it? See all these tower blocks falling down one thing to another. And Portland stone just doesn't deteriorate like it. I know it's more expensive to start with, a lot more expensive, but it seems to be the cost of it. If you can have a tower block's going to fall down in a few years, you know, build up Portland stone, sell forever, like. There's an awful lot of it left yet, but to be honest with you, all the quality stone's gone. The best of the quarries. This area was one of the best of the quarries of the lot. I think it's just a nice place to live. I've never lived anywhere else, so I suppose it is. I'm quite happy here anyway.
Their isolation, Portlanders are good at making their own entertainment, and they're proud of their homegrown Morris dancing team, which performs regularly at the Cove Inn on the edge of the Chesil Beach. One of the dancers is Jan Morgan.
It's called the Jubilee Dance, and it was first performed for Queen Victoria's Golden Jubilee in 1886.
So that part of Morris dancing is not as old as it might seem?
No, there's there's dances being made all the time. There's dances that go right back, and there's dances being made even today.
Well, that's nice to hear it living like that. Now,
Yes, it's a living tradition.
I'm used to Morris men.
Oh, well, a lot of people seem to think it's just men that know how to Morris dance, but women have been dancing Morris for well over 100 years, and the men seem to think they've got an authority on it, but us women know better.
And so women are coming to the fore all over, or is this just a Portland idea?
No, there's lots of women's sides all over the country. There's about 100 women's sides.
Compared with how many men?
I don't know, I'm not interested. None of the dances we do at the moment stem from Portland, but we know there are dances that used to be done on the island, and we are looking into them, and hopefully we'll be able to dance them next season. We have got women musicians, but you find most of the women like to dance, and then we let the men get on with the music. Some of us are Portlanders, some of us are Kimberlings that were not born on the island but live on the island, and some of us are foreigners. Most Morris sides have an exotic animal, and we chose to have Portland sheep because Portland's very famous for its fine mutton, and also the Portland sheep was believed to be never crossbred, although I'm not quite sure about our Edna, and so we chose Edna to come out with us. If it comes out with us, it's definitely female. So we all love doing it. It's something you've got to practice, and we practice all winter. We have every Wednesday evening as a practice session, and you've got to come to the practices to know the stepping. But when we go out in the summer, we like to enjoy ourselves, to be sociable, and to have a good time, as long as we're keeping up the standard that we've been practicing all through the winter. We fit for nothing afterwards.
Much of the island consists of abandoned quarries, into which waste from other quarries has been dumped. Over the decades, nature has managed to claw her way back into this devastation, and today many of the old workings are rich with birds, butterflies and flowers. Coming to this sort of landscape, you could almost feel, if you've not been here before, that you'd landed on the moon or something like that. And how was the landscape of Portland created?
Well, I think mainly from the quarrying, because we're down inside a quarry here, and the areas over there are what was taken out of the quarry. They're not natural hills, they're man-made hills from the overspill in the quarries. And then nature has taken over and covered them with the grass, and they appear natural, but obviously they're not. Well, as far as I know, this quarry here hasn't been worked for 50 to 60 years. So it's sort of taking over in that period. It's been left unused during that area of time, so now it's starting to take up again. You've got a nice lot of blue butterflies and the brimstones and the whites and the orange tips in this area, and also a nice selection of plant life too.
Which I suppose means that you would say that these quarries are a good thing.
Oh, I think so. I would hate to see them filled in, actually, because I think they make a nice natural park.
Some of the other plants, and particularly, I think, spectacular for the horseshoe vetch. It's really a very splendid plant, I think.
It's a very pretty plant, and you get carpets of it within the quarries, so that you can walk through a whole carpeted area of the horseshoe vetch.
What's this bluish hairy one here?
This is Viper's bugloss.
Viper's bugloss, which means, is this good adder country, I suppose?
Well, yes, we do get a lot of adders in the quarries, especially on hot days. And the thing is that with those, they do tend to lay across the footpaths and sunbathe, and people are always told to keep on the paths, which is not always the best place to go, because all the ones I've seen have actually been laying straight across the path.
So watch your step country, is it?
Well, that's right, yes. You do walk around with your eyes on the ground on a very hot, sunny day.
There are some very neat little roses we've come across. What are they? They're not the sort of great straggly dog roses.
No, these are the burnet rose. We have quite a few burnet roses on the island, pink ones and the white ones.
And they're very, very delicate little flowers. These are something of a sea coast speciality, aren't
Yes, I think this is specifically for this area. There are a lot of plants that obviously grow because of the coastal area, and also being as we're inland as well, this part, you tend to get the two growing together.
Yes, in the centre, I suppose we've got inland cliffs here, haven't we?
That's
With the
right.
raw limestone.
Yes.
So it's a lovely habitat. Portland, like Gibraltar, is buffeted by high winds and strong currents. It can be bleak and windswept, and its people seem almost to speak a different language from those of us on the mainland. There's a clannishness here, such as is often found on islands, as well as a strong feeling of pride in being part of a small but historic community. People who have been brought up here won't countenance living anywhere else because of the high value that they put on the friendship of their neighbours. So, naturally enough, the last word must rest with a Portlander, poet George Davey.
Now, townsmen search for solitude instead of city noises rude, escaping on this rock-strewn isle from modern scientific talk. Now here beguiled its mystery seek in sheltered nook and craggy peak. He listens to the seabird's call whose own is on the great cliff wall, and ventures where the fresh winds blow to watch the restless tideway flow. These scenes, in varied moods, release an everlasting sense of peace.